Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever tried to hunt down a divorce record in Pennsylvania, you know it feels a bit like trying to solve a giant puzzle with half the pieces missing. But today, we are totally decoding this labyrinth. I'm going to show you exactly how to search for these records online, and more importantly, how to do it completely for free. Whether you're deep into personal genealogy research, trying to finalize a real estate transaction, or you just need proof of a past dissolution to remarry, getting your hands on these public records shouldn't be a massive headache. We're going to save you precious time and money by cutting right through all the confusion. Let's get to it.
Honestly, are you just tired of hitting dead ends? You know the drill. You're clicking through broken links. Or worse, hitting massive paywalls on random third-party sites. Well, if that's you, you're definitely not alone. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has a, let's call it a highly specific and sometimes confusing way of organizing its data. But stick with me, because today we're giving you the exact map you need to navigate this entire system like a pro.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll get a solid understanding of how PA divorce records actually work. Then we'll look at privacy and legal rules. After that, we'll uncover what I call the UJS portal illusion, before walking through a literal step-by-step guide to county searches. Finally, we'll dig into some historical archives and wrap it all up with a few pro tips.
All right, starting off with Section 1, Understanding PA Divorce Records.
So the biggest misconception out there is that you can just go straight to the state government to get these files. Nope. Unlike birth and death certificates, which are securely held centrally by the state's Division of Vital Records, marriage and divorce records in PA are entirely decentralized. They are managed strictly at the local level as judicial records. The state simply doesn't have them. You literally have to look locally.
Which brings us to a very important, kind of funny-sounding word, the prothanotary. Basically, since 1804, if you want these specific files, you have to find the local county's prothanotary office. They are the elected official acting as the clerk of the Civil Division of the Court of Common Pleas. Think of them as the ultimate custodians of civil lawsuits, judgments, and, yes, family court filings like divorces. So, if you're looking for a divorce record, the prothanotary in the exact county where the divorce was finalized is exactly who you need to target.
Now, when you do find them, there are three distinct types of records you might run into, and there are very strict rules on who actually gets to see them. First up is the divorce certificate. This is just a basic vital record of the event, mostly just names and dates. It's usually public, though it might cost a small fee to get a copy. Then you have the divorce decree. This is the official court order that actually terminates the marriage. This is usually what you need for legal proof, and it's mostly accessible just to the parties involved, their legal reps, or someone with a proven legitimate interest. And lastly, the full court record. This is the whole shebang. Pleadings, custody details, all of it. Because of the sensitive nature, this one is highly restricted to just the direct parties and their lawyers.
Moving right along to Section 2, Privacy and Legal Rules.
So what can you actually see? Well, Pennsylvania operates under the right to know law, which generally presumes the court records are public. That means your basic index info, things like the case number, party names, dates of hearings, all of that is considered public record. But as you can probably guess, the courts have to be incredibly careful about protecting vulnerable people and sensitive data.
Because of that, you always need to verify the status of a document you find on the docket. If a case file involves highly sensitive stuff, we're talking unproven, false allegations, specific details about child abuse, identifying info about minors, or even just sensitive health or business data, a judge is very likely going to legally seal those specific portions. In some cases, they'll seal the entire file from public view just to protect privacy.
Okay, let's jump into Section 3, the UJS portal illusion. This is a massive trap people fall into.
There is a really crucial distinction between the statewide portal and the local county ones. The state uses something called the Unified Judicial System, or the UJS portal. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a fantastic, centralized tool if you're looking up criminal cases, traffic tickets, or appellate decisions. But for family law, it is a complete illusion. The UJS entirely excludes trial-level civil and family court records. So if you're searching for a standard divorce on that state portal, it is a guaranteed dead end.
In fact, to put it exactly how our source material explains it, because the courts of common pleas do not integrate their civil trial-level dockets into the public-facing statewide UJS search engine, divorce proceedings are excluded. Basically, those local courts just don't feed their family dockets up into the main state system. The takeaway here? You absolutely must bypass that state portal and go straight to the county level.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, Step-by-Step County Searches. All right, here is your literal roadmap. Step 1, navigate directly to the website for the prothanotary in the specific county where the divorce happened. Step 2, find their online database, and this is absolutely critical. Always, always select the civil docket search option. If you accidentally leave it on criminal, you're going to get 0 results. Step 3, enter the exact names of the parties. Or even better, if you happen to know the specific case ID number, punch that in for much more precise results. Finally, step 4, you'll pull up the docket sheet and you can review the chronological timeline of the whole case and check the status of the documents.
But a quick heads up, be prepared because the digital experience varies wildly depending on which county you're in. It's kind of crazy. For example, Allegheny County has a great portal where you might actually see digital scans of documents depending on privacy rules. Down in Philadelphia, you get a free index search, but no online document downloads. And then you've got places like Bucks County. They completely exclude family cases from their online web viewer, which literally forces you to physically drive to their courthouse lobby just to use their public terminals. So your mileage will definitely vary.
All right, Section 5, Alternatives and Historical Archives. What if you're looking for something way older?
Tracing historical divorces really comes down to knowing exactly when they happened. It's kind of like a time machine. Back between 1786 and 1815, divorces were actually granted centrally by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, so those really old files are held at the PA State Archives. It wasn't until 1804 that the jurisdiction shifted over to those local county prothanotary offices we've been talking about, and honestly, counties didn't really start digitizing those local civil dockets until the 1990s.
So if you're hunting for anything pre-1990, you need to check out these alternative historical resources. They are basically hidden treasures. The Pennsylvania State Archives has those early Supreme Court files in Record Group 33. Websites like Family Search have actually teamed up with counties to digitize a bunch of old physical books. And here is a massive tip. If you live in PA, you can get free access to many of these records on Ancestry.com just by verifying your residency through the State Archives portal. Seriously, take advantage of that. Also, always check if a county has its own free historical index. Lancaster County, for instance, has an awesome index covering cases all the way from 1850 to 1997.
Okay, almost done. Let's hit Section 6, Pro Tips and Conclusion. Let's fire through some rapid-fire troubleshooting tips to make sure your search is a success. First up, remember that these databases are incredibly literal. You have to use exact legal spelling and punctuation. If one spouse's name isn't pulling anything up, just try searching the other spouse's name. Sometimes a maiden name or a weird indexing error is just causing a hiccup. Also, please watch out for third-party commercial sites trying to charge you a quote-unquote convenience fee for data you can easily get for free on the county site. Oh, and a really great reminder about fee waivers. If you genuinely need to order official, certified copies from the courthouse, but you're low income and can't afford the statutory fees, ask the court about an informa pauperis waiver. A judge can actually waive those costs for you entirely.
Now, before we wrap up, a quick disclaimer. Everything we've covered in this explainer today is for educational use only. It's not formal legal advice. Court procedures, online access rules, and fee structures change all the time. So definitely always verify the latest details directly with your local prothanotary or consult the family law attorney if you need actual legal guidance.
Searching through a decentralized legal system can definitely feel overwhelming at first, right? But with the right roadmap, you can absolutely uncover the information you need. So I have to ask, have you ever tried searching for Pennsylvania County Court records online? Did you fall into that UGS portal trap? Or did you actually find exactly what you were looking for on a local county site? We'd absolutely love to hear about your specific search journey down in the comments, because your experience might literally be the key that helps another viewer navigate this whole maze. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and happy searching.